Jamie asks, what is a good protein bar? Now, I brought my favorite protein bar, and I also, I ate one. And so I actually did a little bit of research as well. I'm picky about protein bars. I think there's so many bars out there that are way too caloric, way too much fat and sugar. And so you have to be careful. You want to look at the ingredients in your protein bar. Make sure there isn't a lot of junk in it, meaning a lot of processed stuff, fake sugars. You don't want to have a lot of different oils like canola and palm kernel oil. And I'm trying to think of all the other things that I generally see in the really crappy protein bars. But I would say too, if you're really looking, and it depends too, sometimes we're looking for a protein bar to be a full meal replacement. Some people are just looking for it to be a snack. Something that I do, especially and I talked about this, and I put a video in my group and on YouTube the other day about all the supplements that I take, my whole regimen for the day. And if I have a long workout in the morning, I will cut my protein bar in half. It's upside down. I will cut it in half, and that's why you see it looks like this, because this is me taking a knife and I literally cut through, and then this kind of stays, and then I put it in a plastic baggie. So I eat half of it right when I wake up, within 30 minutes of waking up. So good to get protein, especially as a hormonal woman, to avoid blood sugar dropping too low, and to help you manage your cortisol, and to get protein early. I have half a bar in the morning, and then I save the other half for after lunch, or when I get really hungry, maybe in the afternoon or at night if I want a snack, right? So I save half of it for another time. And I don't know where I was going, but I love a protein bar with a lot of protein. I think the minimum I would want to see you have is 15 grams plus, right? Whether it's going to be a snack, 15 grams is not going to be enough for a meal, but for me, after my lunch, that's a good added 15 grams of protein, right? Mine that I have here, these are David bars, and I'll link this for you as well. The David bars are 28 grams of protein. They are the highest protein bars that I have ever seen. They also have 0 sugar. And one thing that kind of drove me crazy was they came out with a new formulation. They used to use allulose as their only sugar, and allulose is a natural occurring sugar, but they use a bioengineering process to increase the amount of it. But they also just started in this flavor, my favorite, the peanut butter chocolate chunk. They started using sucralose, which I don't love. There's studies saying that it's fine. There's studies saying that it causes cancer. Of course, it's hard to know who to trust. So I do not eat this every day. This one I eat occasionally. I buy 15 of them a month. And I have their other one that does not have sucralose, which is the cake batter flavor, which is one of my favorites too. And I'll go back and forth between these. So I buy 15 of those and 15 of these. I don't eat them every day. But when I want them, that's fine. So these have 150 calories, 28 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar. But you might see protein bars. I pulled up a chart somewhere. Sugar anywhere from 0 to 13 grams of sugar in RX bars and Luna bars. That is way too much sugar, and I'll tell you why. It is recommended that women have 25 grams of sugar per day. So half of your sugar coming from this little bar that's tough. That's a lot of sugar. Fat is another one to be careful of. Ooh, I just lost my little thing. There it is. So these ones have 2.5 grams of fat. I'm looking at a chart, some of these bars, and this is where you might see a lot of nuts in the bars, and you might be like, oh, nuts are healthy. 13, 10. Do you know that RX bars have 19 grams of fat in them? Again, that is for many of us, that's 50% of the fat that we're supposed to have in the day, right? So every gram of fat every gram of fat contains 9 calories. So let's say let's round to 20. So 20 times 9 is 180. So 180 out of the 220 calories in this bar is coming from fat. That's a lot, right? fiber. Some bars have a lot of fiber, some have less fiber. And then you have to just be careful with the calories. Some of them can get up to like 250 calories in a bar. So then you have to know, is this a whole meal? Like for me, like this wouldn't be a meal. I ate this in like 3 bites. But it's good for me as a snack, or half in the morning, half later in the day, or at night if I want something sweet. Okay. So, and then I would also just pay attention to the ingredients, right? And then another thing when I'm looking for a protein bar, one of my other favorite protein bars is the Beachbodies bars. They have 150 calories, 10 grams of protein, five or so grams of sugar, 4 grams of fiber. It's texture, right? Some of these protein bars are really gross. And so find one that you enjoy, that you like. These ones are more of a cookie dough texture. The ones from Beachbody are more like crispy. They're covered with chocolate. Also, if you live somewhere like I live in Florida, these ones are good for Florida because they don't melt in my bag. But the ones that are covered with chocolate, I think Quest has a lot of chocolate covered ones. Zone tends to have a lot of chocolate covered ones. Those ones can melt on you, and that's no fun. Okay, so that's my my advice on protein bars.